Historical research. There's a lot of different ways we can deal with this. Subtitle is the meaning of events. What has occurred in the past? How is that important to what we're dealing with? It becomes very important to deal with historical research. When we're dealing with historical research, you're looking for things like primary sources. When did it happen? Where did it happen? Who can I get that actually saw something? And how is that important to what I actually want to determine? It becomes very important to know about these primary sources. The primary sources are then or soon after the event. People write about it, people saw things, people talk about it. It gets published in the newspaper, but you're looking at something that is right then or very soon after what occurred. Also, you can be looking for a narrative search, which means somebody told about it and you're checking this later on, and when you do this, you want to see how close it was to the actual event that this narration actually occurred, because the closer it is, the more firsthand knowledge they probably have, and the more information that they are being realistic about instead of speculating on. We've got oral history. Sometimes things are passed down over time. There are a lot of different oral histories that we hear about that we may not fully understand, and we may not go out there and we may not place them out. And that becomes a very unique sort of thing because we need to think about these things. How do we deal with these oral histories and everything? When you evaluate it, you look at external evidence. And external evidence is evidence from the outside about what occurred. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to justify certain parameters to know exactly what may have gone on. Or you may be trying to compile some information over a certain time period. You've got internal evidence. Internal evidence would be evidence that is specific to the event that you're dealing with. And the internal evidence could be in any different form, but again, it's internal to the event that you would be dealing with. And then there's the psychological or conceptual history, and this is what people talk about and the way they look at it. We just had the presidential debate. Who won? Who won really depends on who you talk to. What were the important concepts? All of that is historical type data that you would look at. Practical application of it, you may be looking at a history research project. And history research projects are very interesting because they give you a glimpse of what's going on in the past, and therefore they become very, very important. Here's a title. This is Pericularia, Diseases of Grasses, a Historical Overview. And what it really did was it went back and it looked at all of the different things that were reported on different grasses worldwide. Which fungus did it belong to? And you can see that there are basically two different ones. And we've got who cited it, where it came from. And so all of this became very important. It even has dimensions of the conidia if they were found in that particular journal. This one says Curvularia blight of turf grasses, a historical perspective. Same sort of table in there that looks at the different species, what synonyms you have for them, and what the host were, and who cited it, and where did it come from. And this is a very interesting sort of thing as well, because it goes out there and it looks at particular things that become very interesting so that you have an idea of historically where did these things come from. So this is a historical sort of thing where we're trying to look at the past and we're trying to gather information from the past and make it relevant to what we've got today.